reminder, the context is that you are my colleagues and I'm presenting this proposal. So you already know me. I know you. Thank you everybody for coming. It's a pleasure to have you here with me. And I am going to present today about a proposal that I have. So first of all, raise your hand if you believe that we are a diverse company. Just think about the people who are in your team, take a look at your colleagues around you. I believe we are, right? And therefore, I believe that we are a diverse and inclusive company. And there's an opportunity for us to promote and celebrate that more. That is why the objective of this 10-minute presentation is to walk you through my proposal for a diversity and inclusion network and to encourage you to become diversity champions. And going through the agenda, first of all, I'm going to walk you through the business reasons that we have for having diversity in the company. Second, that MSCI is global and diverse. And third, how you can become a diversity champion and be a part of this diversity and inclusion network. And at the end, we're going to have some time for questions and answers. There are 3 reasons why diversity is important for business. Number 1 is the global client base. And we do cover this pretty well. I'm going to show you in the next slide how we are global and diverse. Second is because of market innovation. There is here, as you can see from this chart, a connection between diversity, inclusion, innovation, and growth. And the third reason is because of employee engagement. There is research that shows that diversity is equal to higher engagement, and higher engagement means less turnover and higher productivity. MSCI is global. We have 35 offices in 26 countries around the globe with more than 2,600 employees. More than 15 languages are spoken and at MSCI to complement our global perspectives. We are diverse, and diversity does not only mean cultural diversity, it also means diversity of backgrounds, and including asset management, banking, brokerage, as you can see from our senior management leadership team. However, I believe that there's an opportunity for us to promote and celebrate that more through a diversity and inclusion network. That is my proposal. So the objective is to have a healthy and active network where diversity and inclusion is promoted. And here you are, I need your help. I would like you to become diversity champions. It's employee-driven, voluntary, and is open to all employees. Our mission statement is to promote and celebrate diversity and inclusion at MSCI. And the vision for this group is we want to be a strong voice for diversity and inclusion in our community and in the financial services industry. Our guiding principles are: we are open-minded, we are innovative, and we celebrate the differences amongst us. And by differences, I don't mean only cultural differences, but I also mean disability, sexual orientation, religion, socioeconomic status, gender, age, race and ethnicity, and culture. And I believe that we trust that these differences inform and strengthen our company. In terms of the plan, in order to accomplish these objectives, first of all is to ensure diversity is encouraged throughout the organization. And in terms of that, what does that mean? It means to continue to recruit top talent that is also diverse, find ways to identify people that we know that can succeed and would like to join MSCI. And it also means that to be aware of any cultural biases. Second is retention and talent development through career development. And by that I mean having a network and open communication so that we can have access or be mentors or role models, or also that finding sponsors and people who would like to sit with us and who have gone through this process. And to give you some examples, like Deborah Young, for instance, and could be a mentor for someone. And so the idea is to have open communication and access to those resources. And this will translate into higher levels of employee engagement, less turnover, and higher productivity. So you can become a diversity champion in any of these focus areas. It can be through education and engagement, through community outreach, to professional development and retention, or to recruitment and networking. And that could mean different things. It could mean planning an event related to a different culture and that so that we can learn from you. It could mean getting more of community outreach programs, or it could also mean hosting a tech talk and a discussion about cultural biases. Or it could also mean getting involved in recruiting as well as mentoring. To conclude, diversity is important for the business for three main reasons: and client engagement and client because of our global client market, and second, because of innovation, and third, because of employee engagement. Second, MSCI is a global and diverse company. And third, you can be a diversity champion and join the Diversity and Inclusion Network. I'm gonna leave you with this slide. And what questions do you have? Sherwood.
Valerie, do we have any stats that show how diverse we are and how are they broken down by each level?
Sherwood's question is if we have any stats of how diverse we are.
And I'm sorry, let me clarify a little more. In terms of position level, managing director, VP, analyst, so on and so forth.
Yes, Sherwood's question is if we have any stats of how diverse we are in terms of levels such as managing director, and unfortunately we do not. We only track females and males. We do not ask questions such as those during the interview process or the hiring process. And those are tough questions to ask, but we do know that we are a very diverse company. As I mentioned before, we have 35 offices in 26 different countries, and we speak more than 15 languages here at MSCI. Does that answer your question, Shirley?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Vlad.
Hi Valerie, I have a question. Are there any plans for having different groups such as Asian, Hispanic, LGBT, etc.?
So Vlada's question is if we have any plans of having different groups, also known as employee resource groups. The answer is not. We do not have any plans of having subgroups. The idea is to have one network that is big and inclusive of all, and not just different subgroups. I would love to speak with you, April and Derek, after. Unfortunately, I'm out of time, so I'll stay around so that I can address your questions after this. So to conclude, this is from the new commercial of Android, Be Together, Not the Same, and it speaks a lot about diversity. And what I would like you to do is to talk to me if you have any feedback, if you would like to be a diversity champion, if you would like to join the network. You have my contact information. Do you know where I sit here in the office? There's a sign-up sheet over here if you would like to sign up for one of the events, either leading an event or being an office diversity champion. And feel free to contact me, and thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Tell me one thing that you're proud of.
Hopefully I was able to project and had hand gestures and eye contact. I believe I did that well, and I'm proud of that.
Good, good. What would you like to continue to work on?
There was one moment in which I lost track of what I wanted to say, and when I was giving my summary, like I blanked for a second. Vlada was looking at me, I was looking at Vlada, like what was I going to say? And I could have managed that better and think quicker and about what I wanted to say. I think I looked at the slide, I didn't see it there, so I kind of blanked. But I knew what was going. I just needed to calm down and remember the next word and maybe pause instead of showing that proud on my face, and then keep going.
Okay. What did you see that Valerie did effectively?
I thought the volume was just out of this world. Like, that was the biggest difference. I'm like, is this Valerie that I'm hearing? So
It sounds super loud.
yes, but you projected so well, and I just think that's the biggest change.
Yeah.
I also thought you did great in managing the time crunch at the end. I know we ran out of time for a couple of the questions, but then you nicely said, we'll take the questions after. So that was really effective.
I like the structure of the presentation. You came out and you clearly stated the objective, which was to be a diversity champion, which is what to set up to know work and be a diversity champion. The fact that I can recall that right now is, I think, a reflection of how well you said. And then also you brought that back in summation, and that also kind of hit that picture hit home, and I thought that was very well done.
I think it was well structured, and I think you were able to be commanding, confident, and also use. Like, I think kind of the guiding point we had here was that it's very difficult to use PowerPoint and be an effective speaker, and I think you combined them all together. I believe you combined them all together.
Thank you.
I had the same thing, that much better voice projection. We definitely took note of what was commented before. So that was great, and you sounded very powerful and like very authoritative, and that you owned the content and the topic. So that was great. And I loved your closing and the visual, and yeah, it was very creative.
What would you like to see Valerie continue to work on?
So I came away with the same comment that April said, that I thought your voice was very powerful, and there was definitely a call to action. At the same time, so we're your colleagues, right? So we're all very used to you personally, and you're a very friendly, nice person, and it was kind of just a weird, almost abrasive change, because, and the fact that you're talking about being about a topic of diversity and inclusion, I think a more friendlier tone, and I know that's a very, very difficult strike, to be to be confident, call to action, but friendly at the same time. I know that's definitely a delicate balance to strike, but I thought the friendly part was slightly missing.
I noticed you had more filler words than other presentations, especially in transitions. So I counted a lot of ands and I think you were just getting ready to go to the next slide, and it was maybe just a flow thing. But yeah, so be mindful on the filler words. So a lot of the transitions.
And minor points, I know you did a lot of body movement, but again, you always return to this one, like hand holding position like this, and it was like this, and then you did some stuff, and then it always went back to like, you know,
This is heavy, yes.
or just, you know, the gripping of the hand like
Yeah,
that.
I tend to do that.
This is just a small thing, but I think you can use a little more dramatic pause.
Dramatic.
Going to transition from.
Actually, I like your body.
Yeah, no, I like it, but I think that it could have been more defined or more.
Thank you.
I didn't really have any bad stuff. I thought it was good. But it flowed really nicely, and as I said, you came across like you owned the topic, and you were powerful, and I thought you were very pleasant. I mean, you want to be a diversity champion.
Yay! Awesome.
I would say keep refining the grabber. Maybe even find some stats that tell why companies with more diversity are really excelling, right? Or examples of companies that.
Yes, and I
where-
do have those, but I didn't want to read them.
Well, no, I'm saying just think about finding something like that.
Like
That-
including an additional slide with.
Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe. But you got a good start there. I think just keep working it, because I think it can be a little better, right? Again, more substance in your opening. I'm a broken record, but use that to tell us what you're going to tell us, right? And give us the 3 bullets, right? Diversity will help our business. Make those into powerful, strong statements that have some substance to them, right? I'm going to make the case, diversity will help our business. Diversity will help with employee engagement, and employee engagement is something we've spent a lot of time on in the past year and this year in MSCI, and you can get involved. Diversity is something you can get involved in right now, right? Maybe those are your 3 statements, but make that substantive in the opening. When you watch the video, watch your clicker hand. Your clicker hand is stuck. That thing's heavy, so either set it down or get it moving. I agreed with Sherwood's feedback that at times you sounded a bit too forceful. I would have. I'm not sure if it was intonation or even a little too much volume, but there was something that kind of made it seem a little harsh. Is that fair?
Yes, probably I
So-
chose confident instead of choosing friendly for this particular topic.
And I would say currently you're, for whatever reason, and I wasn't quite able to put my finger on it, but your presentation kind of lacks some flow. And it may be just something that practice will iron out, but
On the slides or the.
now I think the slides are good. I think your visual aids are good. I think there's probably just more practice for you will make you more comfortable with going from one thing to the next. You sounded like you were a little bit unsure of how much you wanted to say about any given topic, and then you would kind of say something, and then you'd start to move on, and you would say, oh, I've got something more for this past one, and you'd say that. And so it came across just a little choppy. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
So I think keep working to And usually that means that your transitions aren't very smooth. Like you're not moving comfortably from one thing to the next. I think your closing is strong. Your pictures there are very effective, especially this last picture. And so I think it could go great with your call to action. And you said 2 or 3 things there. I think it would have been much more powerful if you would have just said, join me as a diversity champion. And just left it at that. You did a good job on the question. You have good word choices. You have good pace. I think your graphics were the best of the group, and your objectives were very clear. So that was strong. Okay. All right. Good job.